أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. I recited before you verse number 185 of Surah Al-Baqarah, which translates, the month of Ramadan, in it was sent down the Quran, a guidance for mankind, and with evidence one of the books of guidance and distinction. So whoso of you witnesses the month, he shall fast in it. He shall fast, and whoso is ill or journeying, for him is the like number of other days. Allah desires for you ease and does not desire for you hardship. So you shall complete the number and shall glorify Allah for His having guided you, and so that you may give thanks. So the opening of this verse begins with Shahru Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. So this is the explanation of in the previous verse when Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned Ayyam Ma'dudat, a few days numbered. What are those few days numbered in which we are commanded to fast? It is the month of Ramadan. الذي أنزل فيه القرآن, wherein that month wherein the Quran was revealed. In this month, on the night of power, which was the 24th of Ramadan, namely the 24th of Ramadan was when the Quran was revealed. And this was when, from the Lawh al-Mahfuz, the protected tablet, it was revealed to the earthly sky, and thereafter, over a period of 23 years, piece by piece, in stages, the Quran Kareem was revealed from Sama'ud Dunya, from the earthly sky to the earth itself, upon the qalb, the heart of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So it was a night of power wherein the Quran was revealed, and this Quran Kareem has two qualities that are mentioned here. The first quality is the guidance. It is a guidance for mankind, and clear proofs, evidence from guidance of the previous books, Um, so it is a guidance, um, and also clear proofs of from from the books of guidance, and uh, criterion, distinction, clear proofs of distinction between haq and batil, between truth and falsehood. Also, in the month of Mubarak month of Ramadan, through and through, has uh, great relationship with that of not just the Kalam of Allah, i.e., the Quran, but also the books, the previous books and scriptures. Um, as is mentioned um, through narrations, that many of the previous books, for instance, in one hadith it is mentioned uh, on the authority of Wathila bin Asqa', and is recorded in Musnad Ahmad, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to the effect that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam revealed his scriptures in the first of Ramadan, and the Torah was revealed on the 6th of Ramadan. The Injil, the Bible, on the on the 13th of Ramadan, and the Quran on the 24th of Ramadan, as was mentioned. And Sayyidina Jabir radhiallahu anhu relates that the Zabur was revealed on the 12th of Ramadan, and the Injil on the 18th of Ramadan, as is mentioned in Ibn Kathir. And so this um, proves that Ramadan, subhanAllah, in this sense is the month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not only the Quran Kareem, but the previous books and scriptures, and the majority thereof were revealed in this Mubarak month. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. So whoever witnesses um, from amongst you the month, then he must fast. And the witnessing is of two kinds. One may be that the person witnesses the crescent himself. The second may be that from reliable sources, other shahadat, the news of um, shahadat in the area, that locality comes to him. In both instances, um, one must take on and fast in the month of Ramadan, um, be it on the completion of 29 days of Sha'ban, or 30. In case if the moon is not sighted, then we'll complete 30 days of Sha'ban. So this is the fundamental principle. And if, for Allah forbid, there may be clouds, many clouds, and because of which the crescent isn't visible, then we should, as a matter of principle, fundamentally speaking, complete 30 days. And the 30th day is Yom al-Shak, and as mentioned in the hadith, that لا يتقدمن أحدكم رمضان بصوم يوم أو يومين إلا أن يكون رجلا كان يصوم يوما فليصوم ذلك اليوم. That none of you should proceed Ramadan with the fast of a day or two, except that one is in the habit of fasting on that day. Then he may fast on that day. For example, if on the 29th or the 30th of Sha'ban happens to be a Monday or a Thursday, and the person in question is in habit of fasting on the Monday and the Thursday, then he can go ahead and fast. Otherwise, it is makruh to fast on that day, which is Yom al-Shak. Also, moving forward, ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخرى. So after, one thing that I forgot to mention is that فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Okay, this, whoever witnesses from amongst you the month, he shall fast. Okay, so previously, according to the previous verse that I recited before this dars, the dars prior to this, it was one had the option as to whether to fast. If he was not feeling up for fasting, he could give fidya, but that had been abrogated by this this specific hukum here. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Whoever witnesses from amongst you the fast, he shall fast. And that for each and every healthy and individual that qualifies for the fast, it is incumbent upon him or her, for that matter, to fast, and that there is no option for the healthy and fit to give fidya. And then, because the one may assume based on that even the one that is ill, extremely elderly, or embarked upon a safar and upon a journey, that one can have the impression, based upon what was just recited there, that the ill and the traveler is obliged to fast as well. So to clarify that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions man kana maridan aw ala safar fa'iddatun min ayyamin ukhra. And whoso is ill or journeying, embarked upon a journey, for him is the like number of other days, meaning other days besides Ramadan. They have the person who is ill, such an illness that if he were to fast, his illness would increase, or worse yet, that would prove fatal for him. And that person is excused, and when he recovers or she recovers, then that individual can make up the fasts on other days. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has removed any such impression that an ill person may have to fast. So they are excused, the ill are excused, and the people that are upon a journey of 48 miles or more, they have the option that and they are excused, and if the fast falls within their journey, they can forego that fast, or whatever days come under their journey, their safar, so they can make those days up after the Mubarak month of Ramadan has been completed. And also there are some type of uzrs that are by default, and that is being a kafir, or a child that has not reached the age of puberty. So a kafir, a disbeliever, or a minor child. Okay, obviously fasting is not fard upon them. So once the kafir embraces Islam, there is no qada of any fasts prior to Islam. And likewise, Nabaligh child, a child that hasn't reached the age of puberty, once they reach puberty, only then fasting becomes fard upon that child. And also someone that is majnoon, okay, fasting is not incumbent upon him neither. So, and if there are other type of other, someone for a temporary period of time, if he becomes insane, or a lady, a sister comes into her menstrual cycles, or nifas, the postnatal bleeding, then she can make up those fasts after, in other days besides that the month of Ramadan, of that month where that udhr came in. And why is this so? You read Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to mention that um, يريد الله بكم اليسر. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes for you ease. ولا يريد بكم العسر, and He does not wish upon you hardship. ولتكمل العدة, so that you may complete the number. ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم, and that you may magnify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His having guided you. Okay, so for His having guided you towards ease. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted such a way from which such a guidance from wherein you can still partake of the blessings and samarat, the fruits of the fasting, and that you're not deprived of it. Otherwise, the qada would not have become wajib. So if qada was not if qada was not wajib, then who would keep all these fasts? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us upon a way, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He says وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and so that you shall magnify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His having guided you and being able to partake of the blessings of the Mubarak of months of Ramadan, and despite your excuse or udhr and not being able to fast in the month itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given an alternative here. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that you may give thanks and be grateful upon the blessing of ease that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. Otherwise, for subhanallah, for such an ill person, he would have gone through extreme hardship, or someone that is on a journey. At times it's not easy to fast. So the people that are render an excuse and are excused in Sharia, if they were obliged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for argument's sake to fast, things would have become extremely difficult for them. So this is why Allah is saying وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that you may give thanks and be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to cherish this Mubarak month, and grant us the ability to be truly grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings, for His for the injunctions that He has given us, the moments and occasions and opportunities to become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us also the tawfiq to cherish the ease that He has given us, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a very moderate deen, a deen that is very easy and doable, and does not put too much burden on us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to make this Ramadan a game changer for us, make it a means of us connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and achieving a deep and meaningful bond with Him. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولكافة المسلمين فاستغفروه.